It's just bully tactics. And that's what LeBron did. And just like a bad AAU dad, okay, just like a bad AAU dad, you don't confront people about your son. Now, but Bronny James is in the NBA. And he's in the NBA because LeBron wants him in the NBA.
Oh, of course.
That's it. That's the only reason why.
Legacy move.
Only reason why. There is no world in which Bronny James is in the NBA if his dad isn't making it happen. He is not a middle schooler. He is not a high schooler. He is not even in college. He is collecting a salary and guaranteed that salary for 4 years.
I don't know how that's possible.
And so if you don't think that critique of your son is above board, then why is critique of anybody above board? Because he's your son?
Doug Gottlieb goes off on LeBron James. Check out what he had to say, and then I'll come back with my comments.
LeBron James was, and has always been wrong about this one.
Real talk, he's wrong.
Was, and has always been wrong about this one. Because if your son is a high school kid, and we're talking about a game here or a game there, and there's no reason to point things out. And again, we can go back to breaking down somebody's high school tape or rating them in college or whatever. And I have no doubt that what LeBron hears is 10x to what's actually said. A lot of what is said or what is repeated is people on social media, and we've done a terrible job as society. First of all, let's just be honest. Twitter's a joke now because every comment on some level matters because there's no delineation between people with blue check marks. You can pay for a blue check mark.
Yeah, now the Twitter and all that, social media, it blows things out of proportion. But as far as the LeBron, Stephen A. Smith thing and him having an issue with as a father, that quote, again, it was just a move by LeBron James to go off on Stephen A. Smith. He always wanted to go off on him, but he didn't really want to crash out that way. So by him saying as a father and mentioning Bronny, taking it out of context, he had a reason to go off on Stephen A. Smith. This was years in the making. It's obvious that those who don't like each other and LeBron James was just waiting on a perfect opportunity to go off on Stephen A. Smith. It was a good chess move by LeBron James. Now Stephen A. Smith looks like the bad guy.
And so many of these shows, it started with entertainment shows, news shows are like that. Some sports shows do it, where you amplify random's tweets with these are people that they just don't matter. Now, if you want to go back and pick out any of the things that I've said, I'll stand by them, but their analysis of a high school or college or now professional basketball player. But here's the thing. Hey, LeBron. And again, LeBron will be able to get away with it. You will have people that will take Stephen A's stance where they go, well, this is a dad protecting his son. I get it. I get it. I get it. No, it's not.
Nah,
this is professional basketball. This is the NBA. There are 450 jobs in the entire world. And the poem or the speech that is sent to me more often than anything I've ever received since becoming a head coach is the man in the arena. That's the old Teddy Roosevelt, the man in the arena. And no one knows what it's like unless you're the man in the arena.
Yeah, even though Bronny, he's a man, he's in the NBA, whatever the case may be, as long as he has that shield of Rich Paul, Clutch Sports, and his father LeBron, the media, they're going to, not question him, not critique his game, can't put him on TV unless the highlights are good. He's the only player I know in NBA history. He has a steal or a block. It's going to make the main page at ESPN, the Bleacher Report, Sideline, and all those social media sites just for one block. But when we try to, critique his game or question it, why are you talking about a 55th pick? Y'all know why we're talking about the 55th pick, because of who his father is. But again, if you're Stephen A. Smith, he tried to stand on business, tried to, clarify what he was saying. But at the end of the day, you're not going to win that argument. LeBron James controls the media.
And so the point about Bronny James and his play and our depiction of his play or our depiction of how LeBron has made everybody this is why J.J. Redick said, oh, he's earned everything he's gotten. Of course he belongs here. Because if you don't say this, it's no different than what Trump does. You either kiss up to these people or they act like you're the world's worst person and they shame you or they blame.
At the end of the day, yeah, you got to kiss up to LeBron. If you're J.J. Redick, you know the history of the Lakers coaches over the last few years or since LeBron James' touchdown in L.A. Frank Vogel won a championship. Year or two later, he's out. Darvin Ham, 2 seasons, and he was out. JJ Redick, you have a 2 to 3 year window. He said he wants to stay with the Lakers forever. I don't know if that's going to happen as long as LeBron James is on the Lakers. Maybe when he retires and it's just you, Luka, Austin Reeves, and a couple other players, then maybe so you can kind of be the coach that you always wanted to be. But as long as you're under that LeBron James umbrella, you got to appease him. You got to abide by his rules. You can't say anything bad about Bronny in a critical way, not in a negative way. But, same way how you would critique Luka Doncic in the media if he made a bad play in crunch time minutes. You can't do that with Bronny because of LeBron James.
It's just bully tactics. And that's what LeBron did.
Oh,
yeah, he's a dad. And just like a bad AAU dad, okay, just like a bad AAU dad, you don't confront people about your son. Now, if you're an AAU dad and some Hanyak is in the stands and they're taunting him and teasing him or whatever, and it's somebody like Stephen A. Smith who, you don't taunt and tease when you're Stephen A. Smith. You're just some loser fan.
Yeah.
Just some loser fan. But Bronny James is in the NBA. And he's in the NBA because LeBron wants him in the NBA.
Oh, of course.
That's it. That's the only reason why.
Legacy move.
Only reason why. There is no world in which Bronny James is in the NBA if his dad isn't making it happen.
Yeah, I think the whole world knows that now. But again, in the media, you can't say that. When you do say it, you get a lot of people in the media that question you as a person. How dare you even say that? Even though everybody knows it's the truth. That's the only reason why Bronny's in the league is because of LeBron James. And I think people move past that. But still, you're not able to talk about Bronny James in a negative way. You can't do it. You're just going to hear he's the 55th pick. No 55th pick in NBA history is being talked about. But at the same time, no 55th pick. Father is LeBron James. So people like to use those type of narratives to their advantage whenever they're trying to protect Bronny James. And I get it. He's a son of a legend. So, of course, you want to, give him grace, allow him to grow, and we'll see what happens with his career. But there's just a lot of people in the media being hypocrites and refusing to talk about Bronny James.
Now, he's not the only NBA player who's there because there's favors in the NBA. There are fewer than there used to be, but there are favors. Obviously, Giannis's brothers have been in the NBA and they stink.
Yeah, the Nasses, yeah.
Okay? He's a much more skilled basketball player than Giannis's brothers. But he's tiny and he's non-impactful and he's taking up a roster spot from a legitimate NBA player. And that is legitimate criticism of a professional basketball player. He is not a middle schooler. He is not a high schooler. He is not even in college. He is collecting a salary and guaranteed that salary for 4 years.
I don't know how that's possible.
And so if you don't think that critique of your son is above board, then why is critique of anybody above board? Because he's your son?
Yeah, that's what it's pretty much about, even though they'll mask it and be like, you said as a father, so he has a reason to crash out. LeBron James has never crashed out like that on anybody. He's been cool within the media as far as not going off. He may have his moments on social media, but he never confronted anybody like that. And Stephen A. Smith's been walking on eggshells. Very respectful to Bronny. Has his moments with LeBron, even though they don't like each other, but he never went off on him like he does with other athletes. And by him saying, as a father, I would do X, Y, and Z. Why are you putting Bronny in this situation? Of course, he's going to look like the bad guy. So you can't talk about Bronny James, and LeBron James will make sure you don't talk about his son in any way.
Dude, this is why I remember back the last time LeBron was a free agent and everyone knew he was going to L.A. And you had people putting out there, hey, maybe you go to San Antonio.
Wasn't happening.
Greg Popovich has a couple of rules of joining the Spurs. Do you know what the number one rule of joining the Spurs is? Get over yourself.
Mm-hmm. You want to go and be
and when you're criticizing people and confronting them or tweeting at radio hosts who coach a Division I college basketball team and quote tweeting and subtweeting about people because they've been critical of your NBA son, you are definitely not over yourself.
Yeah, and again, LeBron James, he wants to control those narratives. He's been doing a great job at it since he's kind of gained the power within the media. Once he got his agency going with Uninterrupted and then the whole Clutch Sports thing, he's been running media. He got a lot of people like Nick Wright, Shannon Sharp, Gilbert Arenas, a couple other people in media that are going to protect him. And even Draymond Green, a competitor that goes against him, but just happy to be on the same court as him, happy to breathe the same air as LeBron. So as long as he has people in the media that are going to defend him, he's going to continue to stand on business like this. And again, be a father, do what you do, but people are going to criticize Bronny. You can't protect them forever. You got to let them roll with the punches. And at the end of the day, you're kind of embarrassing Bronny by crashing out on people like this on social media and in person like Stephen A. Smith.
Definitely not over yourself. I have said and will continue to say that if this is the worst thing LeBron James does, right, force the Lakers to draft his son and then, and then the forced narrative of there's lots of other teams that were interested in drafting Bronny. Like, no, there weren't.
No.
It doesn't mean that he wasn't going to be a good college basketball player eventually. It doesn't mean that he doesn't work hard. He does. There's 450 jobs. Those are the best in the world. What are we doing? Okay? But if you can't take that criticism because it's your son, like, so we're supposed to not be honest about our portrayal of Bronny James?
No, you can't be honest because you'll look like the bad guy. You may get blackballed, may get canceled, may be fired, lose your brand deals and sponsorships if you go against the greatest player ever, LeBron James and his son. It's not going to happen. You got to be quiet. You got to lie to the media and act like Bronny James is the rookie of the year.
Well, is that what we're supposed to do?
Yep, unfortunately.
So, again, I think LeBron James is a bad person? No.
Cool
Do I think he has a black heart? No. Do I think this is who he really is? Yes.
Change the narratives. Got to do it.
And look, I get it, okay? It doesn't feel good when people make comments about you, especially when they don't really know. And I'm sure LeBron's thing is like, hey, my kid, he went on a very good team at SC last year. He had the heart attack. Like, that stuff was scary. I'm with him every day. He wants it really bad. It's very personal to him. I get it. But once you're in the NBA, like, sorry, man, like, this is the NBA. This ain't show friends. This show business.
Yeah.
This ain't show friends. This show business.
Different ball game.
And Stephen A. saying the quiet part out loud. Saying what all reasonable and reputable people say. Who was it? Was it Jaylen Brown over the summer that was sitting courtside in Summer League that was caught lipping? He's not an NBA player. He's not.
And then he retracted that.
And if LeBron, you're going to go and confront everybody who has that belief in your son. And again, the only way for Brian to do it is to overcome and to make the league and to look like a valuable commodity. He hasn't looked like that. And you can give me the one or two G League statistical quality performances. The reality is I have friends that evaluate the G League. His last big game, he was completely inefficient. No, yeah, by the way, he was going against Isaiah Thomas, who's a former star in the NBA, but hasn't been a star in like a decade and is fighting his way to try and get back.
Yeah, again, shout out to Bronny, playing much better in the G League. I noticed videos a few weeks ago. He's averaging about 20 plus per game, multiple assists and rebounds, even though he's not really effective on the court. Plus minus wise, he is playing better, but at the end of the day, if you're Stephen A. Smith, you can't say the quiet part out loud because you're going to look like the bad guy and LeBron going to run up on you. But at the end of the day, LeBron hasn't run up on, everybody that has something to say about Bronny or him over the last 20 plus years, but it is what it is. As long as LeBron James has the power, everybody in the media will go against Stephen A. Smith.